Hi, this is Rahim Zulfiqar from Excel Basement Private Limited. In this video, in this tutorial, we will be learning that how to create HR training and development data and creating a dashboard in Microsoft Power BI. So we have a training and development data of one of the organization, and we will try to make a dashboard, interactive dashboard, and advanced level analytical dashboard in Microsoft Power BI. So first, let us understand the different paradigms of this dashboard, that how that particular organization is maintaining that training and development dashboard by the HR department. And once we understand different kind of columns and or the fields available in this particular Excel, we would be having a different perception of creating the visuals in Microsoft Power BI. So I will explain the data first, and I will also tell you some learning resources as well. In this particular tutorial of creating an HR training and development dashboard in Power BI, we will be using one simple Excel workbook. We will import that workbook into the Power BI and start creating dashboard. We don't have the dimension tables and a fact tables where we will be creating a relationships. So if you are an intermediate to advanced level of user in Power BI, you might be thinking that either we're gonna create a relationships in this example. No, we just have only one data set, that is the fact table, where we have different kind of fields available by that organization HR department. So there is no dimension tables and we are not required to create relationship, but practically in most of the data models we have the star schema or other kind of a schema available, and definitely we need to create relationships. And further, it's very important that later on when we create KPIs or any kind of analytical numbers, we need DAX, and for that we also need to fetch the data from various different tables as well. So if you are that kind of a user, advanced level user, so you might be finding that kind of relativity in this tutorial. But whereas this specific tutorial and this dashboard which we will be creating is for all the audience who are just starting or are new to the Microsoft Power BI or the intermediate to advanced level as well, and I will share the learning resources with you so that you can understand more in a broader perspective of how to do the data modeling or apply the DAX as well. So we have a data set here. As I told you, we have one particular Excel workbook, and all that entire data of training and development has been maintained by the HR department in this one specific file known as, this is the fact table. This is not a normal range. We have converted that entire data set into a table format. Remember that Power BI, and whenever we use Power Pivot in Excel, or we use the Power Pivot or DAX language in Power BI, we require the structured references. We call the tables and the column names instead of relative and absolute references as we do normally in Excel. So forget that relative and absolute references we that are not longer used in the DAX. So I hope you have cleared with this concept. So for generally and for easy, we have created this entire data set into a table format. Sometimes users, what they do is they have either a CSV file, they import the CSV file into the Power BI where you don't have a table. So in that particular case you have a different strategy, but the foremost and the fundamental part is, if you have a data in your Excel workbook and it's already being created as a table, that will give you an extra advantage of handling the data easily. So let's get started. Is if you can see here, we have a first column is of date, where you can see different kind of dates are being added into this column. We have a 3 years of data starting from 2017, 18 and 19, and then we have 2 more columns that is also related to these dates. We have converted the dates. We have basically extracted the month from each of the raw of a different date, and then we have extracted the year information in a separate column. Now for example, if you don't have this kind of month, year, or for example quarter column not in your data set available by default, so what we can do is we can also create all those columns in Microsoft Power BI with the help of an ETL tool, that is Power Query. So we can create a duplicate column of a date, and we can transform it to a month, year, quarter, and in various kind of transformations as well. So what I can do is, to make you more understandable, I will delete this month and year column from this current data set, so that you can learn that if these columns are not available in your data sets, then how you will create it. But if these are available in your fact table, that will give you an advantage to create a slicer very quickly, or you can use it in any kind of visual dimension. So I will delete these two columns. Now we have a name of a company, we have various you can say this is entirely a one organization data set, and they have different kind of business paradigms or business dimensions. So they are working in insurance, they are working in properties, securities, tech side, ventures, right? So RZN stands for Rahim Zulfiqar. So I have just created this. This is not the real data, this is the fictitious data, just to make you understand that these kind of data sets have been maintained in various kind of organizations. Then we have the employee number as well, so these are not the real ones. So employee numbers are starting from 1 2 3, but practically you have the employee numbers of 5 digits, 6 digits, sometimes it's text string, sometimes it's entirely a number. So depends on the organization practices that how they have issued the employee numbers to the currently employees of various kinds of different statuses, like a permanent or a contractual, right? Then we have the column that is the department. So definitely if you have a lot of varieties in the company name, so we have a different kind of business functions, or the departments, you can say, like supply chain, sales, retails, finance, IT, claims, billing, right? So we have different kind of departments. Then we have training, because this entire data sets pertains to the training and development. So in the last 3 years, 2017, 18 and 19, all the trainings given to the different employees of different organizations within one sector have been now recorded by the HR. Training type, then we have a two different kind of training types, soft skills or a technical, and then how much training hours were allocated, or the duration of that training. Then we have two kinds of trainings, external and internal. Definitely when there is a training, organizations try to save their cost, so primarily they prefer to call the trainer in-house, where they have already the fixed assets available, where they have already the logistics available, so they don't need to do a large or huge expenses for making their employees to go and travel to the other side of the training venue. So they prefer in-house trainings most of the time. So those are the internal trainings. Sometimes due to some other reasons, the organizations wish to have the external trainings as well. Depend on the trainer availability and other things as well. And last but not the least, we have the column of training cost in PKR. It can be in any kind of currency as well. It can be in dollars, it can be in euros, pounds, but here in this example we have set the PKR in rupees, which is the official currency of Pakistan, right? So we have so now if you can start observing the data set, so we can conclude that it's a date wise data based on each of the employee of a different department participated in a training. Either it's a technical or a soft skill, and either it's an external or internal, and there is some cost allocated to that training. So now we are required to give this so now we are required to present a dashboard in front of our senior management or a top management that in the last 3 years what we have achieved. So how the employee has grown himself, and how much cost and how much each of the department and which kind of trainings has been delivered in the last 3 years for that particular company, right? Or in each of the departments. So these are some of the questions definitely the dashboard can answer easily, rather than we can see this kind of very big data available with us. So we will convert this data into a very beautiful dashboard in Power BI in just very few minutes, right? Now As I told you with the very starting of this video that if you are a intermediate to advanced level of Power BI user, you might be thinking of a different kind of data modeling to this example as well. But here in this example we just have one Excel workbook and we will import this straightforward Excel workbook into the Power BI, whereas as I told you we can create a star schema, gather schema, different kind of schemas as well. If you are looking for learn about the data modeling, because practically speaking later on you will find to create a schema first you need to understand your data first rather than creating the dashboards. So let me tell you some of the learning resources available. So what you can do is, if you are a Facebook user, you can just go to Facebook and write Excel Basement Private Limited. So like our page, join that for the latest updates. You can also visit excelbasement.org, our official website, where you will find a blog, where you will find a forum as well. For the data modeling, if you are very new and if you don't know how to do the data modeling, so you can go to the sqlbi.com, where you will find this free introduction to data modeling for Power BI course. So once you get to this website, click on enroll free, and it will redirect you another link. So this is absolutely free, so you have to fill this form and all your credentials right here and click on place order, so you will have the access of this entire course. This specific course includes 27 video lectures, sample material by the expert trainers Marco and Alberto, and this is the curriculum you can review. So this is, and the rating is also superb, 4.9 out of 5. So this is very good course if you starting with the Microsoft Power BI. So before that you need to learn the data modeling, and after doing this free course there is also advanced level course available on the same website. So if you found this helpful, so do purchase that as well. And for the DAX, as I told you, that now we have a language that is called data analysis expressions, which is very important to learn in order to do the advanced analytics from your data. So you can anytime visit to this website. This is called Enterprise DNA. You can easily find this website, and there is a course called Ultimate Beginner's Guide to DAX, which is free. So you can click on enroll in course for free, and you can learn that how to write DAX, what are different kind of DAX. So you can learn, review, understand them, and there are 2 hours of video courses available. 15 quiz questions is also available. Power BI files are also available to download. So this is one of the very interesting course. And first you have to enroll into the introduction to data modeling for Power BI, then for Ultimate Beginner's Guide to DAX. So these are 2 learning resources, and make sure that you also like the page of Excel Basement, and you can join Excel Basement Private Limited on a YouTube, where we on a weekly basis upload Excel and Power BI videos as well. So now let's get into the Microsoft Power BI. So this is the Microsoft Power BI, and let me tell you the version which I am using. So to know about which kind of version you are using is to click on help tab, help ribbon, and click on about on the left side, and you can see that this is the version of July 2020, right? So you can update it. We have the latest August 2020 version available free. Desktop version of Microsoft Power BI is absolutely free. So you can make sure that all the features which you will see in this tutorial is based on this July 2020 version. If you have the older version, might be you will not able to find that particular feature. Okay, so once we are into the Microsoft Power BI, so we will import that Excel workbook. So we will click on get data, which is available on home tab, and here you have a different kind of common data sources, different connectors available. So in this tutorial we will be importing a data from the Microsoft Excel workbook. So we will click on Excel, or you can also click on for the quick navigation, and this is the Excel icon available as well. So once you locate your file, the Power BI start establishing a connection, and once the connection established, it will show you a screen that which kind of data you want to import from that particular Excel workbook. So it will take just few more seconds, and now you have a navigator window. So it says that we have located the HR training data .xlsx one workbook, and it shows two names here, RZA trainings, and one is training DB. So the training DB is the name of a worksheet available in that particular workbook, whereas the RZA trainings is the name of a table, that data set which is available in that workbook. And a best practice is to bring the table data into the Power BI, not the entire worksheet. Okay, so I have check mark on RZA trainings, and I will click on load. The transform data will let you to enter into the ETL domain first, which is the Power Query, where you can do the transformation at the very beginning, and you can skip this transformation portion and you can do it later on. You can click on load button, or you can click on cancel if you have located a wrong file and you want to do it again. So now we are confident that now that entire data from that particular workbook and table will load into the Power BI. And on the right side, on the very right side in the fields pane, you will see different field list, exactly the same when you create a pivot table in your Excel workbook. So it will just take few more seconds to read that data, and it will show different fields, headers of the columns in the fields pane. So now as you can see that all the columns have been here in the fields pane, and this is the name of a table, RZA trainings. So again, for the advanced users, when you have a more than one table imported from various kind of or different kind of Excel workbooks, you will find different tables also line up here. And also you need to click on this model icon, small icon on the left side. Now in this particular tutorial, as you know that we have imported only one table, which is the data fact table from that Excel workbook. So if you are creating a schema here, so you need to learn the data modeling, and you need to learn which kind of relationships will be handy, one to many or many to many or any other kind. So in most of the advanced level examples on the internet, you will find a proper data model here or a schema here placed. Okay, so again we will go to this canvas where we have just one table with the different columns or the headers available, and we will start creating a dashboard, and we will try to use some of the very good visuals available in Microsoft Power BI. And this dashboard definitely related to the training and development of one particular organizations which has a different kind of businesses or companies, and they have last 3 years of data, right? So now the first question arises is that can we make a custom background for our dashboard? So the answer is yes, you can create a custom background for your dashboard as well. So you can use Microsoft Paint, or you can use Adobe Photoshop or Adobe Illustrator, or as a basic MS Office user, you can also use Microsoft PowerPoint, which is my preference, where you can create very good awesome backgrounds as well. Sometimes you need a gradient backgrounds, because gradient feature is not available in Power BI. So if you click on this in the visualizations pane, if you see there is a small icon here of a format, and once you locate that, so when you click on that format button, there is a field called page background, so you can expand and collapse these fields. So here you can assign the background color. You have a different kind of backgrounds colors, and remember that for coloring, either for the visuals or the backgrounds, you need to define the hex codes. Okay, so sometimes your marketing department or any other department who is looking for various kind of coloring schemes, you can take the hex codes from them, or there are different kind of techniques available as well. If you want to add an image to your this canvas as for the background, you can locate that image as well. I have already created one image here, and I will click on open, and you can see that image has now been assigned as a background for this Power BI dashboard. You can increase and decrease the transparency as well. Sometimes this transparency options make your background very appealing as well, right? So 100% transparency will remove that background. There are three options for this image fit: normal, fit, and fill. According to your image size of for the background, definitely you will see a different change on it. So how I have created this image, or if you want a gradient background, how you can create that, simply you will open Microsoft PowerPoint, and I'm using Microsoft 365 and the PowerPoint latest version. So here I have an image which has a black color and a yellow color, which is a theme of Power BI as well, official color for the Power BI as well. And I want to create a background, so I will use a blank slide here, and I will show you one technique of creating a different kind of backgrounds, good backgrounds for your dashboards. So what I can do is I can use many kind of shapes I want. So I'm using the box here, so I have created a box here. I will set a black color to this, again one more box, so I can resize it, I can define the dimensions to it according to my requirement. Right now what I need is the trouble is that how I can extract this actual color, how I can get this actual color so that my background will match my organization theme colors. So once you have that logo of your organization or a theme colors images of your organization, you can import that image into your PowerPoint slide. Once you have that, now you are required to get the data, get the code of that color, right? So what you can do is insert any kind of a shape, and in the shape format what you can do is click on shape fill, and you have an option or a feature called eyedropper. So click on eyedropper and locate to that specific color. Once you click on it, you will get that specific color. Now you can go to that particular slide, and now I want that yellow color or a golden type color to be filled in this blue box. So what I can do is, again I will click on shape fill, and you can see that that specific color has been added in the recent colors category, so you can click on that. So this is how you can easily create any kind of background or a gradient color you want. You can also right click on it, on this particular box, and go to format shape, and here you have the option of gradient fill. So you can use gradient fill as well, right? So now you can see the impact here, just to give you an example that how it works, right? So this is a kind of a gradient fill like. So once you are done with your background, once you are satisfied that this is the particular image you want to add as a background in Power BI, so what you can do is go to the design tab and click on slide size, and here if you can see that option, which is the default selection in PowerPoint, is wide screen 16 by 9, right? Now what is this 16 by 9? Let me tell you. So once you are back to the Microsoft Power BI, and if you let's say if you want to see this default canvas page size, so you can expand this page size option, and you can see that by default the page size of this Power BI canvas is 16 by 9, and the PowerPoint slide for the background we have used is also set by default for 16 by 9. So this means whatever the image you are creating here on this slide will definitely fit 100% accurate on your Microsoft Power BI dashboard. So this is how usually I use Microsoft PowerPoint to create various kind of very good backgrounds for my Power BI dashboards. Okay, so once you are done with it, what you can do is you will go to File tab, click on Save As, browse that particular slide as an image. So don't use PPTX. Open this feature, open the Save As type, and select PNG. Okay, and give it a nice name, for example Power BI background. Okay, and just click just this one. so that the current slide should be saved as a PNG image into that particular folder. And once you are done with that, you can open the Power BI and go to this format icon, click on that and expand the page background and click on add image, and now you have that particular Power BI background available. Click on open, and that's it. So whatever you will be creating in Microsoft PowerPoint as a slide size of 16 by 9, that will exactly and accurately fit on your Microsoft Power BI as a background. So I hope you like this technique, and now we will be proceeding towards the dashboard for creating a training dashboard. And before that, we started creating the slicers and different kind of charts. One thing is very important for the users to understand, that whatever you will be dragging and dropping the fields on your canvas and selecting any kind of visuals from here, that start creating that particular visual in terms of column chart or a line chart or a pie chart, right? But before that, you need to make your dashboard layouts. And for creating a dashboard layouts, you need to understand that how that dashboard would be integrated with different kind of slicers and objects and their placements as well, from top to bottom, from left to right. What will be that important information you would like to share with that management? So here, if you can see, you can just start creating a rough sketch on a piece of paper, and then analyze that either your slicers, if you are putting them on a left side or a top side, that would fit your audience attention or not. So once you done a meeting with your senior manager, you can show them your sketch, that I am putting the slicers on the left side, I will put the KPIs on top, a title on the top, and some line charts and waterfall charts or any other kind of charts at the bottom. If they approve, then you start creating a dashboard. If they don't approve, you can definitely come with a idea B, that I am putting the slicers on top, KPIs on the left, and some of the charts at the right side. Or you can go with the third option as well. So every time you go with 2 or 3 options to discuss with your manager or senior manager in order for the approval of your sketches of the dashboards, because if you don't make sketches, you will not find a trackway or a pathway that how that dashboard would be look like at the end, and you will be having some pain points that every time you will be coming up with a change by your senior management. So it's very important that at the very beginning stage you done with your sketches first, and then you start creating that sketch into a reality in this Microsoft Power BI application. So I hope this point is clear, and now we are proceeding towards creating a visuals. So now we will be starting creating the different kind of visuals in our this canvas dashboard. Before that, we are required some additional columns, just like year, month, quarter, so that we can use it in our slicers. Now for doing that, we are required to transform our data. So we will click on this small data icon here on the left side, where you can see your preview of this entire data source which you have imported from the Excel workbook. Remember that you can't make a change here, because this will not work like a spreadsheet. Whatever the changes you are required to make is you can do in the original data source, which is the Excel. You can't make this the changes in your data set. You can transform the data sets, but you can't make any additional change. Alright, so we are required with the transformation, and for doing the transformation, we will go to the home tab and we will click on transform data. Okay, so once you click on transform data, the Power BI will let you to the Power Query editor, and the Power Query is also available in Microsoft Excel latest versions as well. In the older versions, you are required to download that add-in and then install it. So we are talking about the Power BI. So Power BI, for the transformation, you are into the Power Query editor, where you can make transformations, and I hope that you are familiar with this screen. So whatever the steps you will be applying, that will be recorded in the applied steps section. You can undo any step by clicking on this small cross icon. There are many different kind of features available regarding the transformation. There is also a language is also being available in the Power Query, that is called the M language, so you can learn in order to do the advanced level of transformation with respect to your data set. So in this tutorial we will be just doing a transformation. We will be creating 2-3 more columns as a duplicate column of a date, and we will convert them into day, year or month as per our requirement. And in Microsoft Excel, generally you fetch all this information with respect to a function that is called text function, but here we will do a transformation. So quickly we will right click on this date column and you will find a contextual menu here. So in this contextual menu you will first click on duplicate column, and that duplicate column will definitely go at the right side of this data, and I need to create 2 more duplicate columns of that particular date column. So again I will right click and create a duplicate column. Okay, so now I have 3 duplicate columns of a date column, and I will first rename each of the column and I will do the transformation. So the first column will consist name of the month, so I will giving a name months. Okay, the second one is used for the years, and the third one is for the quarters. Now instead of dates we need that particular information. And also one thing is that when you create a visual in that canvas, and when you use the January to December some of the numbers in that particular either a column or a line chart, so when you sort that months, either it will be sorted into the ascending or descending, but as you know that the calendar from Jan to December is set on the chronological order. So you are also required to allocate each of the month a number on the back end. So for doing that we are also required one more additional column, so that we can sort the names of the month based on that number column. Okay, so I will just right click again on this date column and I will click on duplicate column, and I will give a name or a title, you can say month number. So it will just extract the name the number of each of the month. Okay, and that will definitely a serial number from 1 till 12. So now I am coming back to the months column, and I will just right click on this particular column and I will go to transform, and in the month section I want name of the month. Okay, so I got name of the months, right? Then I need to transform this entire column into the year, so I will go to the year and then click on year, so it will fetching the years from that particular information. Then I need quarters information, so transform quarter and click on quarter. See, so now you will get 1, 2, 4 like this. And if you want Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4, then you are required to go to the add column and create a custom column when you will use the concatenate of a Q alphabet and a number as well. So you can do that as well, and if you find difficulty in doing that, so you can go to the Excel Basement YouTube channel where I have recorded that specific video to transform into quarters, or you can view HR Analytics dashboard video is available on our channel. In that video I have mentioned this as well. And for this last column month number, we are required to get each month number here. So I will click on month and I will click on again month here, so I will get each month number, right? So now we have got all the 4 columns: month, years, quarters and month number, right? So this is the transformation which we have done for our data set. And now for getting exit from this particular Power Query editor window, we will go to the home tab and click on close and apply, and now it will update our data set. Now this transformation has not been done in your original data source. Your data source does not contain all those 4 columns which we have created here in Power BI, and that's the beauty. Your data source size is different, whereas your Microsoft Power BI transformation is entirely different, and every time when your data source get appended or changed, you just need to click on the refresh button right here on the home tab, and it will get updated as well automatically. So without writing any formulas or functions on the helper columns, just like we do in Excel, we just use the Power Query here. So I hope you understand the concept. Now once we have all those required columns available here, now we are ready to set to create the visuals and the interface which is required by the managers or the senior managers to view the dashboard of training and development. So first we will drag and drop each of the field, and we will convert them into a slicer. So we are required a slicer for the month, so I will just drag and drop the month field anywhere on my canvas, and it will show me a default visual, and it's set to be in a table style, whereas I need to convert this into a slicer. So what we can do is, in the visualizations pane, as you can see here, whenever you click on any of the small icon available of that particular visual, that the specific object will automatically change. So we are required to convert this table into a slicer, so we have a option that is called slicer. We will click on it, and now that is converted into a slicer. Now the slicers had different types available, different types of formations are available, and now you can see here the name of the month list is just like starting from A, D, F, J, M, S, so alphabetical order, not the chronological order. And remember that we have created one helper column for the month number, and on those basis we will be doing the formatting as well. So we will do it later on, but we need to understand first here different kind of slicers available. Even you have the hierarchy slicers as well now available in Microsoft Power BI. So now the current the current specific slicer is being set as a list. We want to make it as a drop down so that further space can be saved on our canvas. So we will click on drop down, and now your slicer has been converted as a drop down list, just like you use the data validation list in Excel workbook. It's look like in similar manner. And once you have created that object, you have different kind of formatting options available. So on the visualizations pane, you can click on the format tab, where you can increase and decrease the size of that object. You can increase in size of the font, you can change the background color, so you can do a different kind of formatting. So it requires 2 to 3 minutes for each of the visual as well. And definitely formatting takes a lot of time for the dashboard, specifically because we are required to set based on a neat and clean format, and based on a CRAP rule, which is contrast, alignment, repetition and proximity. So all these factors are very important in order to create a dashboard. Okay, so once we have created a slicer for the months, we will find the correct location to place it on a dashboard. And remember that I told you that you are required to create a sketch at the beginning, so that you can confirm with your layout for the dashboard that which kind of objects you will place on your Microsoft Power BI dashboard, right? So once you are done with the sketches, particularly you will be more focused that which kind of object will place and how it will place in your dashboard. So we have created a slicer for the months, then we are required to create a slicer for the years as well. So we know that we have 3 years in the data set, 17, 18 and 19. Now see that by the default this object is showing a column chart, whereas we are required slicer. So we will click on slicer, and we will say, now this is based on a timeline, so you can use this timeline. This is very interactive way. You can use it for the dates as well, and sometimes we are required to see the weekly position, so we can just filter that particular week or particular slabs and different allocated days like 10 days or 15 days from this visual filters. Okay, or what we can do is we can also use some of the parameters, just like here you can see less than or equals to, greater than or equals to, between, right? So this is very much interactive, in particular for the dates and for the years, not with the text. So we are required to create a slicer based on buttons in a horizontal way. So we are required to change the layout and the orientation. So what we can do is we will go to the journal, and here you can see that we are not having an option that is called the orientation. Now because there might be one reason for that, is that our years is now being considered as a numbers. This particular column property is being set as a number. You can see the sign of a sigma as well. So we are required this particular column to be converted into a text. Data property of this particular column of the years, what we can do is we will select the years column, and we will click on column tools tab available, and here on the left side you will find a data type option. Open this drop down menu and click on text. And now you can see that this entire column has been now converted as a text, whereas you can also do the transformation in Power Query as well, right? So once you have done a different kind of transformation to this particular column of years, now you can see the slicers are coming as in information 17, 18 and 19, and we are required to change the orientation. Now you can see there is a feature is now available, orientation. By default it's vertical. We will do as horizontal, and we will resize this particular object. So now we can change the background color. We can set the different colors for these buttons. They will be interactive, and once we have other objects on our canvas. So let me just change the colors for that as well. So we are not required a background color, so we will turn off that background color. That's very simple. If you are required to give any other color, you can turn on this feature and define the color here as well according to your theme organization's colors, right? We are also required to give now the background color for front color is black, and if you want to increase the size of this is alright. So we have 3 years, 17, 18 and 19, and we have the months here as well. So we can also change the formatting properties for this visual as well. So we are not required the background, whereas we are required the items to font color should be white, right? And it should be increased in the size as well. Yes. The title slicer header is on, and we are required this font as a white color. Now that's on, and also the increase the size. Here background color will be black. In the items the background color will be black and the font color will be white. So now you can see that your slicer is exactly visible, right, when you open this drop down menu, right? Alright, so let's put some column charts and line charts on this canvas. So we have different type of companies, and we have trained different kind of people also. So we will go for the employee number, and we will set that employee number to the distinct count. Okay, we can also create DAX as well for distinct count, where it can fetch the information of removing the duplicates and giving the unique count, or we can use this built-in default information like what we are required from this particular field of employee number, either sum, average, min, max. So I have used count but as a distinct count. Okay, so we can get that in each of the company how many employees have get the training. Okay, so now it's a default object of is in the table format. We are required to create either a bar chart or a column chart as you prefer. So let's say as a bar chart, and this bar chart is automatically set itself as from the highest to lowest. So RZA tracker has the most of the employees get benefit 860. Now this is the tooltip. As I hover my mouse on that particular area of this particular column, so it hovers a tooltip. So companies RZA tracker and 860 employee have get trained in the last 3 years. Then the RZA insurance, then we have COP, life, maps, right? Or you can change this visual into a column chart as well. That would be, I guess, this one, right? So depend on the visual and the requirement by the manager, you are required to set that. And also you if you can see that the last 4 business or companies like property, security, ventures and tech has no much volume as compared to these first 4 or 5. So what you can do is you can extract the top 5. Now you can change that visual into a more an analytical view, like you don't want all the companies to be shown on this particular visual, you want just top 5. So let's see if this option is available or not. So we have the filters pane, and from here in the company, if we expand this, so we have the basic filtering option by default. So if I click on this drop down menu, we have top N, and when I click on top N, I will write 5 here, and based on employee number, so I will drag the employee number field and I will drag that on by value, and where I need a distinct count. Remember that you need to click on distinct count, not the sum. It will give you a wrong analysis then, or otherwise you have to create DAX as well. So I will click on apply filter, and now you can see that there were more than 8 or 9 companies, but now you have filter based on top 5. So this is one of the way without using the DAX. You have just filtered this visual, right? Now you can change the formatting of this particular visual as well based on the theme color. So we will do it later on, but once we are done with all the visuals, so now we are more required towards how many types of training are there. So training type, I will just drag and drop this. We have soft skills and technical skills trainings done in the last 3 years, and how many employees have done the technical skills and soft skills. So we will drag and drop the field of employee numbers, whereas you can see the sum here. Remember that, as I told you, we need a distinct count here, right? And we will select the correct visual for that. So I'm going to click on donut chart. So we have a total of I think more than 1300 employees, and we have done 719 soft skills, and then 821 at the soft skills, and technical are 719. So there are more soft skills training in the last 3 years as compared to the technical ones, right? And you can see the percentage as well. So you can increase and decrease the font size, you can change the color schemes. As I told you, we will do it later on once we are done with that. We can't see the total number here of the training sessions. So what we can do is we can just drag and drop the employee number here, and we will say that convert it into a card. So we have a small icon of card here, and we will change this visual as a count distinct. So we have 1 3 4 7, and what we will do is we will drag and drop this specific object on top of that donut chart, and we will just remove the background, and we will make this 2 different objects as a group. So we will do the grouping as well, okay? And how we can do that, let me tell you now. So once we are required with, so once we are done with the formatting, for example, I want to turn off the background color of this visual as well. I don't want the data labels as well. I don't want the title, or I want to switch off the category. Yes, now I want to decrease the size of this particular text as well. So I will do it as 37. So once I have been set formatted that visual, I will also again format that particular donut chart as well. So I will go to this format area, and I would like to, the legend should be at the bottom center, that's my preference. And the data colors for the soft skills, we will have some light color into that, and for the technical skill we will have a dark yellow color. Okay, and then what more we can do is we can increase the size of that percentages. So the decimal value would be 0. I don't want decimal values in the percentages. I don't want values as to be shown as a decimal, so I have put 0 here. The text size would be a bit bigger. Yes, so I have put 16 points on the text size. You can change the font type as well. Now the last thing is that I need to change the title as well. So the training type, only the training type, and that should be show in the center. So I will just center this alignment. I can increase the font size as well. So you can see that all the formatting options are available. You have to explore one by one in that particular object. I need to remove the background, or you can say I need to have the background as well, but in a different way. I would like to add the border to this object as well. Okay, so let me find the background. Background is on, and I want a background in a gray color, right? So once I have done with this, and let me just resize this object as well, so that the numbers are visible or not. Alright, so all things are visible, and now I will drag and drop this particular 1347 number in the center, where I would love to decrease the font size still as well. So data label, and I would like to have 33 as a font size, or 30. Alright, so what I can do is to make group these two different objects is to select the first object holding the control key, and then pressing the left key of the second object, and we can find the group option available in the format tab, and you can see a group option here, and we will click on group. So this is now one group as an image, and you can just drag and drop. See that how easy it is, right? Alright, so let me save this file, and then we will continue making more visuals. Alright, so we will be formatting now this particular visual. So let's see if the formatting of this particular visual can be copied to this different object as well. So what I can do is I will just click on this donut chart, and I will go to the format painter, and I will come back to this column or a bar chart, and I will click. So it can just copy the background color or the title alignment, right? But for the colors I need to again go to the data colors, from where I can from the default color of blue I can set some other color from here as well, right? So you can increase and decrease the font size from here, or you can add the data labels as well. So you can do a different kind of formatting so that your visual should look neat and clean and appealing. So let me do it. So I will turn on the data labels, and we can change the color or the size as well of the data labels as well. We are not required to see the decimal places, and the text size would be example 14, right? And that's visible. Color should be in black. Okay. If you are not required with the horizontal axis title or a vertical axis title, you can turn off that as well. That's very easy. So on the y-axis, you can turn off the y-axis if you don't want the company names, or you are, because you are not required the titles here, so you can turn off the title from here. And on the x-axis, again you can turn off the title, right? So we have looked at the training types. We have one more column of training type. Let's look at this external or internal. So again, we will just copy this format painter and paste it here. This visual will be in a donut chart, and employee number as well. Values, make it a distinct count, and I need that same formatting. So I will click on format painter and execute that. So now we have the three visuals on our dashboard: a bar chart and two donut charts which represent training type and training status. And let's add few more visuals. Alright, so within 30 minutes the dashboard is now readily available for further analysis, and I have completed by adding visuals like bar chart, a donut chart, slicers, and some statistics fetch from the data set. And I have made it based on the CRAP rule, which is specifically states like contrast, repetition, alignment, and proximity. And I have also created a dark version of this dashboard by duplicating this particular sheet, where you will see the visuals in a black background, and the theme is set on the golden yellow colors. So this kind of dashboard you can create within 30 minutes. This is not very much advanced level of Power BI dashboard, but this is from basic to ahead from the intermediate level, where the employee can create this kind of interactive dashboard within 1 hour and present the entire picture of that data set. So initially we started having a data in Microsoft Excel workbook, importing that data set, transforming it into different columns, and then creating the visuals. So let me quickly conclude that how I just added all these visuals. This is not very much difficult in order to add the visuals and the slicers, it's very easy. The one very interactive thing or the animated object you can see on my dashboard is the scroller, which states that different companies has some different numbers on this scroller, which state that how many employees has various companies have gained training in the last 3 years. And from here you can see on the left side there is a slicer year wise. Whenever I click on any of the year, the entire position of this dashboard get filters, and all the KPIs on top, that how many companies, departments, cost, number of trainings, number of employees has gained in 2019. 4,000 hours training has been done in 2019 department wise, and we have a training status cost wise, and internal and external breakups as well. What you are required to do in most of the dark themes of Power BI dashboard is to make sure that your x-axis, y-axis, and other something like data label should be in white color, so that all things should be visible easily. So if you are using the dark backgrounds, your all the text should be in a light background, whereas if you are using a kind of a mixture blending for your dashboards, just like here as you can see, so you can use the dark colors in the fonts as well. I have also made applied a feature that is called bookmark. So for example, if I select or click any of the object, definitely the dashboard is interactive and filtering itself. So whenever I need to come to the very original position of that dashboard, or you can say the overall all positioning of the dashboard, where I need to clear all the filters at once, so I have created a bookmark technique. And if you want to learn more about the bookmark technique, you can go to my YouTube channel Excel Basement, where I have created a separate video for that. So when I click on this button by pressing Control and the left key of the mouse, then definitely it clears all the filters. So I have made a bookmark technique into this feature. One more feature I have applied is called the tooltip, creating a customized tooltip. So as you can see that I have created a bar chart, a stack bar chart based on cost by months and various companies in each of the months. So when I hover my mouse to any of the section, it shows me my customized tooltip, where I can further see the cost allocated department wise, right? So whenever I hover any of the portion here, so I can see department wise positioning here. So you can create customized tooltip as well, and creating the customized tooltip is already recorded on my YouTube channel Excel Basement. So I have not repeated any of the feature which I have already recorded, because it's a kind of a repetition, but primarily to give you an idea that how these kind of interactive and very good dashboards can be created by the employees within 1 hour in Microsoft Power BI, and can be shared with a cloud account if you have, and the desktop version is absolutely free, available free. So creating a visual is not very much difficult. You just need to drag and drop each of the fields from here, and then formatting each of the field or the visuals rightly in a right direction and placing it accurately on your dashboard, and after doing 30 to 40 minutes formatting on your dashboard, it gives you a very meaningful way to analyze the data which you have recorded in your Excel spreadsheet. So I hope you like this video, and do share it with your friends, and in the next coming weeks we will be coming up with more interactive dashboards, and we will learn more advanced techniques to be added in the Microsoft Power BI dashboard. If you have any question, do comment below either on my YouTube channel or Facebook. Thank you so much.